Hey, salut tout le monde, c'est Monsieur V derrière le mic et la caméra aussi. Donc comment vous allez? J'espère que vous allez bien. Ici ça va plutôt pas mal. On est reparti sur un nouveau let's play de Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. Donc celui-là il est sorti genre 5 ans après Jack l'Éventreur, donc il est beaucoup mieux fait. Mais c'est la même série d'enquêtes. Hein. Bon, sauf que celui-là coûte plus cher. Euh, 30 euros, 29 euros. Vous entendez bien? Ouais, le micro il est là. Normalement vous devriez m'entendre assez bien. Ah, là je retourne le vrai Sherlock. Attends. Il m'a pas dit comment. Il est complètement fêlé. Et est-ce qu'on peut se baisser ou pas? Normalement, j'ai tout noté. Et non.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded.
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been
Voilà.
murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so...
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone.
Ok, désolé, des fois j'appuie sur. Attends. Voilà, moi, comment je vais jouer. Et si je fais du coup. Voilà. On avance plus vite. Donc,
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
ok, donc table. Enquêter sur le maître de Peter Carey. Inspecter les lieux du crime à Woodman's Lee. Ok, donc Baker Street, Woodman's Lee.
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
Finished here. Quoi? Il faut qu'il s'habille, c'est ça? Non. Ça, c'est quoi? Porte. Ma chambre, normalement, elle est là. Moi. Ne me dis pas que je suis en mode course, là, parce que ce serait triste, quand même. Qu'est-ce qu'il nous fait? Non, je vais vérifier. Voilà, il fallait s'habiller, les amis. Carnet. Peter Carey, alias Peter Black Peter, né en 1845, ce qui lui fait 50 ans. Il a fait fortune en chassant la baleine en Scandinavie. Après avoir pris sa retraite en 84, il s'est installé à Woodmansley. Donc nous sommes en 95, il me semble, du coup. Ok, bon, de toute façon, on aura un... Ok.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Attends, c'est quoi là qui
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Quoi de thé? Observez vraiment les détails que les notes ne peuvent pas voir. Attends, il n'y avait pas un truc là? Empreinte de pas.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Ok. Ok. Ensuite là, le jardin, les champs sont bien taillés. Le ciel... D'accord. Donc, attends, quoi table? Quoi table? C'est bon, j'ai tout vu là. À demander. À demander à qui?
Mr. Holmes?
Attends.
Mr. Holmes?
Pourquoi tu veux pas me parler, toi? C'est toi qui as demandé. Courir,
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Ouais, ouais, d'accord. En fait, ok. Bon, apparemment, il faut que j'aille ici là-bas.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Alors, attends.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
Je vais tester parce que c'est pas tout à fait pareil le gameplay. En même temps, il a 5 ans d'écart, hein, 5-6 ans d'écart avec l'autre.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Désolé d'être torse nu au fait, mais bon, il fait tellement chaud. C'est quoi ça? Portrait complet. C'est bon alors. Il n'y a rien d'autre. Ok, donc découverte du corps.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
D'accord, une vie meilleure.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Julie a passé sa vie à la campagne quelque part entre les vieilles forêts de pins d'Inverness et Tata. Huppée, très pieuse, effectuée cabane à Saint-Jacques-de-Compostelle dans ses jeunes années.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Bon, elle m'a tout appris ce qu'il fallait.
Mr. Holmes?
Ok, là, il y a un cadenas. Par ici ou en fait qu'il y a le corps? Non, je comprends pas. Si on fait le truc de la vision.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Ok, mais ils m'ont pas expliqué. Ah si, ça y est, maintenant je peux rentrer.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see. These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Bah, tant mieux. There we are. Attends, ça veut rien dire ce que j'ai dit.
What a terrible way to die.
Here we go. Here we go, mec. Donc, examiner le sang.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
D'accord.
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Ok.
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Mais pour l'instant, on va pas savoir. Ok.
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body.
En tout cas, moi je le trouve plutôt cool, vachement bien fait niveau graphisme
Carey tried to
pour un jeu de
defend himself from his father,
2015-2016
but he did not succeed.
et comparé à Jack l'Éventreur, quoi. Il y a deux verres.
Someone drank from this glass recently.
Putain, il est dégueulasse.
Someone drank from this glass recently.
Donc, vous avez bu dans les deux
The
verres.
initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
Alright.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Attends. Ça veut certainement dire un bateau comme ça. Attends. Il y a une histoire de bateau là. Attends, c'est peut-être dans l'autre sens. Non, c'est dans ce sens-là. Et voilà. J'avais pas trop compris au début la feuille, machin, mais ça va. Donc, j'ai analysé l'odeur du tabac.
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Ok, donc attends, B. Ok, bon, là, on aura fait ce qu'on peut. Donc, maintenant qu'on a fait ça,
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter carries boots. They look to be a size 8.
on va pouvoir voir avec les traces dans la boue, là. Ok. On va tout examiner. Allez, c'est parti. Donc là, maintenant,
These boots don't match the footprints.
trop petite. Donc là, il doit faire du 44, un truc comme ça. Ok. Inspecter le lieu du crime, enquêter sur le meurtre de Peter Carey. Ok. Il est où mon vieux Lestrade là?
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha. So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Je pense qu'il n'y aura pas trop de cuts, presque no cut quoi, sur ce step. Donc là, ok, d'accord.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Attends. Non, on peut pas y aller.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
All right, mes friends. Donc là, on va faire une embuscade. Ah oui, B, c'est le fil de déduction. C'est F, vision, enfin imagination, et T, vision. Avec quoi je
Did you
suis...
hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Don't move.
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
C'est un peu trop rapide là.
You can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Ok. Scotland Yard, mes frères. Donc, interroger le suspect. Tap. Examiner les effets entreposés dans la salle d'essai de Scotland Yard. Et interroger le suspect. Le susprout, comme il dit dans Mon cousin Vinny.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Ça, je le savais, hein. Juste moi, je voulais que tu me dises où c'était, mon pote. Tu vas voir. Staff room. Evidence room. Ok.
These are the suspect's belongings. A
Canif.
knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. A handkerchief with the initials JHM.
From R. Dawson, pour mon ami et partenaire, 1883. Donc, ouais, de la part de R. Dawson à mon ami et partenaire, 1883. Ok.
And partner, 1883.
Non, attends.
From R. Dawson. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Ok.
The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something. But what?
Arrache la page. Personnel, lien. Objet requis.
These are the suspect's belongings. These
Objet.
abbreviations mean...
D'accord. On peut pas voler des saisies un peu là, non? Ok.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's item's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Milligan.
Là, je suis prêt là pour les QTE. Hein.
Near Carey's body. Tell me,
Je suis
Mr.
comme ça devant le clavier.
Did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Ok.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Ouais, non, mais je sais, mais...
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
D'accord.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Et c'est parti pour Baker Street, mes amis. Donc voilà, on va commencer le... Il y a même le chien et tout. Putain, il est vachement, vachement... En fait, le 21 Baker Street ressemble exactement à ça. Sauf qu'en vrai, quand on rentre, la cheminée est là. Ensuite, là, tu as le fauteuil de Watson qui est tourné vers là-bas, là. Et là, tu as le fauteuil de Holmes vers là-bas. Ensuite, là, tu as la porte pour rentrer dans l'appartement. Là-bas, tu as une porte qui mène vers la cuisine et ensuite plus loin vers la chambre de Holmes. Enfin, je vois parfaitement comment c'est le vrai 221 Baker Street, Londres. Bref. Parlez.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible, but if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely. I need to take a harpoon with me.
Oui, mais où est-ce que je trouve un harpon, moi? Faut que j'aille là et que je récupère le harpon.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
All right. Ok. Harpoon. Alors, ok. Maintenant, on va se rendre dans la boucherie de Whitechapel. La même boucherie qu'il y a dans l'autre jeu, mais que vous n'avez pas encore vu. Alors, ouais, bon, pas exactement la même, mais c'est à Whitechapel aussi. C'est une boucherie qu'on nous prêtera, vous verrez. Donc, mon cher Watson, j'ai le harpon.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Step
Little.
aside, Watson, this might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise, yet.
Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Yeah. Attends.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
Ouais, bah attends, alors.
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
Yeah!
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Enfin, moi j'ai mis 3 essais, hein.
Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Très bien payé, mais faites vite. Ok, il n'y a rien à voler ici, non? Parce que moi j'aime bien voler des objets quand je contrôle Holmes. Tu sais, des petits outils, des petits trucs qui vont être utiles, quoi. Non? Bon. On va où, là? À Baker Street? Il faut une force... L'électricité infime plus subite et quand même sans rien, ok. Ok.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Faut que je fasse quoi là, déjà? Enquêter sur le meurtre de Peter Carey. On va essayer d'interroger un peu celui-là, puis de toute façon on n'est pas loin de la fin de l'épisode, mes amis.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong. What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong. What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Putain, mais...
Mr. Holmes?
Locked.
Attends, c'est quoi là? Morgue. Comment ça, objet requis?
These are the suspect's belongings. These abbreviations mean something, but what? These abbreviations.
Comment tu veux que je l'obtienne ton truc là? Genre, consulter les archives à demander. Enquêter sur le meurtre de Peter. Mais le problème, c'est que j'ai inspecté
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Ok, allez, c'est parti, comme ça, c'est réglé.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship's logs of the Sea...
Ok. Enquêter sur le meurtre de Peter Carey. Tab. Allez, on y va.
Mr. Holmes?
Bonjour.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Voilà. Y a quoi derrière toi là?
Mr. Holmes?
Je veux monter. Il m'emmerde là ton pote l'estrade. Attends, c'est. Non, c'est pas l'estrade. C'est un truc d'enveille les poteaux. Voilà. C'est quoi cet endroit? Inspecteur l'estrade.
Locked.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Ouais, bref.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Attends, mais moi je veux lui parler de ça là. Il veut rien dire de plus ce camp. Hein.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Tu parles. Faut que j'aille où là ouais, pour sans déconner. Ok.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hasn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor...
Et là du coup on sait. Pour ça. Donc là il faut consulter les archives. Ça veut dire quoi? Dialogue, école, souvenir, portrait, dialogue, document, preuve, tâche. Je pense que les archives, c'est à Baker Street. Et voilà. Donc,
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
table d'analyse. Encyclopédie. Ah ben voilà. Institut. Alors attends. Airbus.
Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what can be
Désolé,
the
hein,
murder.
je comprenais pas.
It's time to ask him.
Donc, Fate, du fonds d'investissement Dawson. Le fonds d'investissement Dawson est négligent. C'est pas un très bon nom, ça. Ah non, Nelligan, pardon. Nelligan, institution bancaire originaire des Cornouailles, s'est déclaré en faillite à la suite de lourdes pertes dans son portefeuille de prêt. Il sera par conséquent procédé à sa liquidation. C'est à la 23e, c'est là la 23e plus grande banque de Grande-Bretagne et la deuxième plus importante faillite de l'histoire pour bon nombre de familles des Cornouailles. La liquidation de la société est une catastrophe pure et simple. Joshua Nelligan, l'un de ses banquiers, a disparu mystérieusement depuis. Donc, il a été vu pour la dernière fois à bord de son voilier, se préparant à partir pour la Norvège. Monsieur Nelligan est recherché par la police ainsi que par ses créanciers. Voilà. J'essaye de un peu lire et regarder en même temps, mais moi, ça, j'ai jamais trop su faire, donc pas de jugement. Donc maintenant, John Nelligan. Mais oui, alors du coup, c'est John Nelligan. Maintenant, il faut aller à la police.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Attends, c'est quoi ça? Ah, 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 la grosse vache dégueulasse. Ok, bon, c'est parti, mon kiki. On va aller voir ce Nelligan, là. On va lui dire, oh, tu m'as pris pour un con. Je t'ai demandé d'où venait la bague. C'est la mienne. Ah oui. Quand il court, c'est mieux, hein. Tu peux me prendre pour un con, hein.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
Alors pourquoi
I
tu
am
voulais pas le
aware
dire?
that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last.
J'ai pas cliqué exprès. Désolé.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Ok. Donc, peut-être le journal de bord de 1883 permettra d'établir un lien entre Peter Carey et le père de Nelligan. Le journal de bord de 1883. J'ai trouvé ça où, moi? Des journaux de bord des années 78 à 84. Alors, ça c'était chez moi, non? En tout cas, pour l'instant, on est au Comico, on va en profiter. Pour voir si c'est pas dedans.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Ok. J'ai requis. Donc là, maintenant que je suis là, hop, Baker Street. Si c'était à Baker Street. Alors attends, je les ai trouvés où ces histoires-là?
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Bon, alors ça doit pas être là. Ça doit être. Ok, alors ça doit être là-bas. Ok, alors.
That's the one I need.
Voilà.
Is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Alors, Peter Carey, capitaine, Charles Allison, premier lieutenant, Henry Joy, deuxième lieutenant, James Lancaster, timonier, Peter Carey,
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3...
Merde! J'ai oublié, j'ai pas vu ce qu'il a dit. Ah, attends. Wiggins peut peut-être m'aider à trouver un équipage de Unicorn. Il doit être quelque part à Baker Street. Negan n'est visiblement pas à bord. Enquêter sur la meurtre de Peter Carey. À utiliser. Ça pour Wiggins. Ok. Attends. Pour l'instant, là, je suis toujours là. Il n'y a rien d'autre. Dans l'instant, il n'y avait pas un truc. J'ai tout examiné là en fait. Ok. Donc, ce qu'on va faire, on va aller à Baker Street. Ok. Ça c'est pour Wiggins, c'est ça, c'est utiliser. Justement. On va faire un détour par Scotland et après voilà. Après on ira à Baker et après c'est la fin de cet épisode mes amis. Comme ça vous aurez vu le début de cette enquête de Sherlock mes amis. Et ensuite je ferai un épisode sur l'autre Sherlock que j'ai pris aujourd'hui aussi. Comme ça vous verrez aussi l'autre, comment il est. Et après bien sûr on va finir Jack l'Éventreur, hein, pas de souci. Donc là, pardon, si je vais là,
These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected.
uh-huh. 8532 CPR.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Ok, alors attends, d'abord on va faire B. Ok, donc là, récupérer le calepin, les tentatives d'effraction visent à récupérer le calepin qui venait en sang. Negan cherchait les documents de son père dans la cabane. Et puis à la mort, d'où sa présence liée sur les crimes. Voilà, à mon avis, c'est ça. Ensuite, là, on peut faire indice encore. Et ensuite, disparition d'une boîte en état. Document manquant. Titre volé, la boîte en état. Volé contenait des titres de créances précieux. Oula, attends, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé là? Mobile de Nelligan. Il est possible que Jean Nelligan ait été en train de voler les obligations sur la liste légale. Ouais, franchement, moi je pense que c'est ça. Nelligan est innocent. Ouais, je pense que c'est ça. Donc maintenant on va faire comme il nous disait tout à l'heure. À demander. Donc ça maintenant il faut aller à Baker Street. non, non, non. Moi, je pense que Nelligan est innocent. Désolé, désolé, les amis.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will I do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Wiggins, come over here.
Could you come upstairs, please?
Could you come upstairs?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Eh bien, écoutez, les amis, en tout cas, j'espère que vous avez kiffé ce petit épisode. Prochain épisode au même endroit. Et puis voilà. Hein, en tout cas, abonnez-vous si ce n'est pas déjà fait. Partagez avec vos amis à mort. Et puis, moi, je vous dis à la prochaine dans un prochain épisode de ce Sherlock et aussi dans le premier épisode du prochain, enfin de l'autre jeu que j'ai acheté sur Sherlock. Ouais. Voilà, voilà. Donc, en tout cas, merci d'avoir regardé. Puis moi, je vous dis à la prochaine. Hein. Allez, merci, ciao.